Japanese people has a really like jealous of like foreigners who have a small face. What do you think about that kind of like way of thinking or like that kind of concept?
I am Lucy.
Lucy, okay, nice to meet you. So you're from England, right?
Correct.
And you're waiting for your friend?
For my brother.
The brother, okay.
Yes.
So can I ask you like your brother's purpose here in Japan?
He's just visiting me for a week.
So do you work in Japan?
Yes, I am English tutor.
Oh, you're an English teacher.
Yes.
Wow. And like a Japanese school?
Japanese girls' high school in Tokyo.
Okay. So I guess you're teaching Japanese students, like high school students, right?
Correct, yes, and junior a little bit.
Okay. Oh, okay. So can I ask about that high school? Like, is it like a famous school in Japan?
It's a girls' private school. It's a pretty old school,
Okay.
I think. It's just junior and senior, so
Okay.
Yes.
Can I ask like level of the high school?
How do you mean by level? Just
Like, do you know Hensachi? Like,
Sachi?
like every high school has like this kind of level.
I don't know what the level would be.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't tell you.
So you teach Japanese junior high?
Junior
Okay.
mostly, yes,
Great.
junior.
So I think, can I ask you, is it hard to teach Japanese people in English?
I think I'm very lucky because the girls that I teach are super lovely. They're really like sweet and respectful. So I find I have quite an easy time.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I don't know if it's just my individual experience because of the girls that I teach. So I've had a good time doing it. So yeah.
Is it about like, you mentioned about you don't really have a hard time teaching them? Is it because of their like ability or like about their attitude?
Ability is mixed, but I think it's more maybe attitude. I think that even if they are unsure with their English speaking or they're not very confident, they still are willing to like try and to listen, and they're always respectful and mostly trying to have a good time. I think is this what it seems like. So yeah.
Great. So I mean, you mentioned about they're hard trying, like asking questions, but in like general, I think there's this kind of stereotype that Japanese people, maybe Asians in general, or like are kind of shy, or like at the same time they're kindly and polite, but
yes.
And on the other hand, they are strict and they're like really into rules. So I think there's kind of a lot of stereotypes. So can I ask if like before you came to Japan, what were there any kind of stereotypes you had to Japanese people or the Japanese society?
Yeah, I think pretty much what you said. I had done a little bit of online, I guess, English teaching, and had spoken to some Japanese people before I came, and I had been told that, as you said, Japanese people are quite shy and things like that, but maybe because I mostly teach junior, so they're kind of that age where they're not quite self-conscious or they're not, I don't know, they're still quite young, so they're still kids. So I think they're more willing to not be as shy as maybe the older girls. Like occasionally I've gone into a senior class and if they feel a bit more like nervous or a bit more shy, but the younger junior girls, I think some of them are, you can definitely see some are, but I think it's no different than like kids in England where I grew up. You had shy people, you had more confident people.
So it's basically every even in each country, it's generally kids.
I think so. You get it everywhere. So.
Great. So I think, when did you came to Japan?
I came last August.
Last August. Okay, so like half a year, I guess.
Yes, more or less.
So I think you communicate with like other teachers, and like do you also communicate with like the students' parents?
No, so homeroom teachers, Japanese homeroom teachers who are mostly communicating with parents. Yeah.
So I think you communicate with Japanese people. Like, can I ask you like your like opinion about the working environment or?
Yes.
Working environment?
Sure. Again, I think I'm very lucky because of my school. So the work environment has been really lovely. The teachers that I work with are super wonderful people. I have had a really good experience. I know that it's not everybody's experience, but with me personally, again, I think I've just been so fortunate with my school that I have nothing really to complain about, really.
I mean, maybe in the world in general, there might be a stereotype about like Japanese working environment that you work like 24 hours.
I did here.
You didn't go to Japan. You can't go home. You have to go drink with your colleagues. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So did you actually have that kind of stereotype?
A little bit, yes. I think again because some of the people I'd spoken to before I came with my online sort of job had said, and I think it was their experience as well, that they worked crazy hours and were tired a lot and really struggled. So I had thought maybe that it might be something that I might have to deal with it in some capacity, but yeah, it hasn't really been my experience. My school. Maybe it's different. I'm sure the Japanese teachers, obviously, they work very, very, very hard. Yeah, maybe their experience is a bit different to mine, but my experience, yeah, has not been that.
Great. So before you came to Japan, were you also a teacher back in your country?
I had done a little bit, yeah.
But so you were doing something else?
Yes, just sort of admin work at, yeah. So
like general companies.
Yes.
Great. So is there a reason why you decided to work as a teacher, or can I ask your story why you came to Japan or started working as a teacher?
Sure. So during COVID, I started to do a little bit of online teaching. I'd done a little bit of work here and there in some schools with some kids, but I decided to, I guess as everyone working from home, I had a job, an online job, and then I felt like maybe I just wanted to speak to more people. I don't know. So I started doing my online job, my teaching job. And by chance, I think, just got to speak to a lot of Japanese people through that job. So I was hearing about Japanese culture a lot. As a teenager, I'd grown up and had been interested in Japanese culture. And it was an opportunity, I guess. I was speaking to more people. And I don't know, when restrictions started to ease with COVID, I started to feel like maybe it'd be good to go somewhere different. And I did enjoy doing the teaching that I had done or the tutoring that I had done. So I thought I would enjoy it. Yes.
So I think you have a lot of, spend a lot of time with Japanese junior high girls.
Yes.
Teenagers.
Yes.
So in Japan, basically they are the ones who start the trend. So do you have anything that you realize that they like recently, or about them, unique about them?
I mean, the main thing that seems to be a big thing, at least in my school, is anything to do with K-pop.
K-pop, okay.
Yeah. The biggest club at my school is dance club. I guess because it's a girls' school. So I think K-pop bands, new songs coming out from K-pop, new dances. You often see the girls have iPads at the school, so they often set them up, and you can see them practicing little dance routines in the courtyard and things like that. So that is the main thing that I see that they're interested in.
Okay. I think. So you teach them in English, right?
Yes.
And they respond in English, but sometimes in Japanese, I guess?
A little, sometimes, yes.
Is there any word that you learn from them? Unique words that you don't really learn outside in the basic society?
I feel like when I know they're not understanding, sometimes they say yabai. And I learned that very fast. I learned what that meant very quickly. But I can't think of anything else specifically. Yeah.
So I think someday you're going back to the country.
Yes.
Can I ask your plan in Japan,
yes,
about your career, how you're what you're thinking of?
Yeah, I think I'm only potentially going to do the 1 year, maybe 2. So I don't think I'll be here forever. I know some people really set up their lives and stay a long time, but I think I won't be for too long because I miss friends and family. But yeah, I'll be here for a little bit longer.
Okay. So can I ask you, what do you do in your weekends?
The weekends, traveling, going around, exploring new areas. At my school, there was another new foreign teacher from Canada. So the two of us often will go see somewhere, anywhere new, really. So exploring mostly.
So you had your Canadian friend who is a teacher. Do you have any other friends in Japan?
In my school, either sort of fellow teachers mostly, and then it's other people who came and have been dotted around the country in different areas.
Okay. So, but would you like to make other friends?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of a weird position, knowing I'm not going to be here for a long time. I don't know how many how many connections to make, how many people to get close to, because I know I'm not staying here for a long time. But yeah, definitely, it's always lovely to meet people. So
isn't it hard to meet new people?
I think so, probably. But I think that's like anywhere, maybe. I think you have to make an active effort to make new friends. So I think if you really try, I'm sure you can go and make friends. But yeah, maybe, it can also be hard.
Can I ask you like what kind of actions are like where you go to make new friends? What do you do?
I mean, mostly in Japan, it's been work-related friends that I've mostly made friends with. But back in the UK, I would go to clubs and things like that to meet new people. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Do you go to clubs in Japan?
I have not gone to any clubs in Japan.
Are you
I
willing?
would be open to it. I think because exploring has been my like priority. I haven't been like, I guess, settling into my local community as much, because normally when I'm not working, I'm trying to go out to go new places. So I think if I was here for a longer time, 100% that's what I would be doing, is trying to go to a club and get talking to people in my local area and things.
So in weekends or like after school, after working hours,
Yes.
did you ever meet like your students outside of school?
No, not at all, no.
Would it feel kind of awkward if you like meet?
I think so. I don't know what I would meet them for after school, unless I was helping with the club for some reason that was after school hours. But otherwise, I would have no reason, I think, to meet them.
So is it the same back in your country? Like kind of awkward to meet?
I would say so.
Okay. Japanese girls, they have this kind of ideal of like having small faces.
Okay.
And I mean, you have a very small face, and I think a lot of Japanese people has really like jealous of like foreigners who have a small face. What do you think about that kind of like way of thinking, or like that kind of concept? Is it like something that you have back in your country?
I guess. I mean, I think beauty standards are everywhere in every country, and I think a lot of the time they're very insidious and not very good. I think Japan is no different to the UK or to anywhere else where people do have beauty standards, and a lot of the time they're like unreasonable. I don't think it's any worse or better than anywhere else. Yeah. I don't know what else
Does your
to say.
students like say that you have a really small face and like they admire you?
Sometimes yes, but I don't know. Like I just kind of move the conversation along, or I tell them, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of move it along because it's a bit. I don't know what the word is, like.
It's hard to answer.
Yeah, it's hard to answer.
Well, there's no correct answer, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, especially with teenage girls, I mean, any girls really, and men as well. Like I said, beauty standards affect us all. And we're all like consuming so many different ideas of beauty standards from our media. And so I think, you have to be careful with what you like take in. And so sometimes it is like, it does make me feel sad when people really like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not exempt to it. I'm also the same, but yeah. Sorry, that was a really ineloquent answer.
No worries. I kind of get it.
Yeah.
It's, you're a teacher, so it's hard to what you think a lot about what to teach, right? And what you input and output.
Yes.
I understand. Well, thank you so much for your time.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.